Hey, hey, what's up, Facebook? We are live. We got your boy Stephen A. Smith here, and we're going to answer some of your questions hot off the press.
Do I have to?
You do.
Do I have to?
You do.
I mean, sometimes I
Stevie
don't.
loves the people.
Yeah,
Stevie loves the kids.
Yeah,
Stevie
ain't love the kids. He sure does. But sometimes I don't like some of these folks. Especially after I finish doing first take. I mean, I don't feel loved and appreciated enough.
They need to keep you in check.
Really?
That's what we're doing. I got to say two more things before we start. Anybody that's in Cleveland, Stephen A. will be at Town Hall Restaurant tomorrow. Doors open, I think, 8 o'clock. You can check him out. He'll be doing the show live there, obviously.
Me and the
Indians
fans
going
in
to the
Cleveland.
World Series. Yep.
That's
and
right.
then the ring ceremony is tomorrow night with the NBA season tipping off. And then also, of course, our First Take contest. Keep sending in those videos. First Take, yourtake.com. You can debate him. Let's do it. First one here from Joshua Scriver. They can try. Since you went on 980 and defended your Skins comments.
980 in D.C.,
yes. Would you ever do an interview on Dallas radio and defend your constant Cowboys bashing? I like this one.
Absolutely. I run from nobody. I mean, if Dallas radio called me, obviously an ESPN station, because ESPN might not want me on a CBS station or whatever, but whatever ESPN permitted, if a radio station in Dallas wanted to have me on to ask me to defend my Cowboys bashing, I would happily do it. It would just give me another venue to blast the Cowboys. Nothing would please me more.
So Stephen A. is available. Call him.
And by the way, it's not the Cowboys that I have a problem with. I actually like some of those guys. It's their fan base. I think the fans of the Dallas Cowboys are the worst fans in American history. I can't stand them. They make me sick. They're the most delusional, disgusting fan base in American history. I can't stand them, and I would tell them to their face. A matter of fact, did I tell you what I would do?
No.
Darren Woodson is my colleague here at ESPN. Obviously, he's a former Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl champion. He swears up and down that Jerry Jones will allow me to watch a game in the Cowboys suite. And you know what I told Darren?
Even though you just call this team disgusting?
No, not the team, the fan base. That's right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I told Darren Woodson? If Jerry Jones allowed that, I would actually come to a Dallas Cowboy game and tailgate party with those same fans.
He needs security.
Just so
this man
I would
security.
have. I mean, I got a couple of boys down there. They ain't gonna let anything happen to me, so I ain't worried about that. And plus, listen, it's all love, it's all in fun. But I would gladly tell the Dallas Cowboy fans, at a tailgate party, I would gladly tell them how much I don't like them, why I don't like them as a fan base, and I would dare them to argue with me and refute any point that I would make, because they couldn't.
And hand out accident waiting to happen t-shirts.
That's
Joshua,
right.
I just want to let you in
I would have them made.
A little secret, though, about Stephen A. As much as he hates Cowboys fans, they're disgusting, they're delusional, a lot of his best friends happen to be Cowboys fans.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
So
That's really
that's a
good.
true statement.
That's part of the reason why. One of my best friends in the world is my boy Mark Turner. He's one of the biggest Dallas Cowboy fans I know. Another one of my boys from Winston-Salem State, Pete Whitfield. He's another dude that loved the Cowboys. LeBron loves the Cowboys. My man Denzel Washington is a huge Cowboy fan. Allen Iverson, he tries to hide it, but he's a Cowboys fan. I mean, it's just disgusting. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. I don't understand it. It makes no sense, because to me, greatness shouldn't want to associate itself with perpetual mediocrity. But that's what they do.
All right, let's move on here. This one's from Winchester Westfield. Do you think the Clippers can make it to the Western Conference Finals this season?
Yes, they could.
Really?
I don't know if they can. I don't know if they will, but they can. With CP3, with Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, JC, and one is my nickname for Jamal Crawford. They got the crew to pull it off and get to the conference finals. And I would love to see that, because them and the Warriors genuinely hate one another. But Kevin Durant going there has ruined my NBA season, because, again, you had a team that was 73-9. That, as far as I'm concerned, if Draymond Green doesn't get suspended for Game 5, they're standing here as the two-time reigning defending NBA champions. And you add to that one of the top 3 players on the planet, and Kevin Durant, who's 6'10", 7'6" wingspan, could pull up from 30, got a mid-range game, shoot 80+% from the free throw line. I mean, my God, who the Clippers have? They couldn't guard guys like Houston. They couldn't guard other teams. How the hell are you going to guard this Golden State Warriors squad? So that depresses me.
Don't get depressed yet. Give the season a chance. It
Listen,
starts tomorrow. You're going to be in Cleveland. You're going to feel the hype.
The playoffs are going to be interesting. I'm sorry, yes. But the regular season,
is what
I
you're
mean, we
concerned
all
about.
know what it's going to be like. I mean, come on. I mean, Kevin Durant just ruined
Let
it.
him play the games. Let him play the games, Stephen A. This one's from Daniel Shee. Hey, Stephen A. Who's going to win, Indians or Cubs?
Well, the Indians, actually, you can make a legitimate argument that they're the better team. But I'm rolling with destiny.
Yeah.
I think this is the Cubs'
Me
year.
too.
I think it's the year that 108 years of a curse becomes erased.
Yep.
I think Joe Maddon is a sensational manager, even though Terry Francona is pretty damn good himself. I hate the fact that Andrew Miller is their closer in Cleveland because he was a New York Yankee, and now he's gone. But I look at these boys with Rizzo and Bryant and you know, Baez and these dudes, and Lester has been sensational in the postseason. Arrieta, I think, will show up. I just think that this is the year for the Cubs. If you're just asking from a strictly baseball analytical perspective, you can make a strong case that Cleveland should win this series, but I'm rolling with the emotions in this situation.
We can't do that to the city of Chicago.
I'm rolling with the Cubs.
Can't
I'm
happen.
praying that they do it, because to me, if they don't win this year, they might not win for another century.
Yeah. It has to happen. I'm with you. This one's from Stephen Ford. All right, even though you're depressed about the season, what are your predictions for the season? Like teams to watch out for and who you think could take it all this year?
In terms of the NBA?
Yeah, like anybody
listen,
you're
the finals
excited
are going to be Golden State against Cleveland.
Yeah.
But I'm still interested in seeing what Oklahoma City does, because you got Westbrook, you still got Oladipo with Steven Adams and then Enes Kanter, those boys. Oklahoma City could be asleep, but people don't realize that. The Clippers, of course. San Antonio, Pau Gasol, David Lee added. I'm really willing to see what's going to happen with Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, whether or not he really wants to stay there long term. We'll find all of that out. But the Eastern Conference has me intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard Knicks
That's
fan.
second place.
And I think if the Knicks can stay healthy, they can make some noise. Boston should definitely be the favorites after Cleveland. Toronto, you can't sleep on DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry and what we saw from them last year. We have to pay attention to Orlando as well, because Biyombo went from Toronto there, and then you got Serge Ibaka in the Oladipo trade. So I look at all of those different things, and Dwight Howard is now in Atlanta. So I look at all of those different things, and I say Cleveland is clearly the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
But number 2 in the Eastern
The battle for
Conference
second is
makes
interesting.
things very, very interesting, because I think after Cleveland, it's completely wide open, and that's what makes the Eastern Conference
What else do
interesting.
we have for you? Okay, last one here. Do you think Aaron Rodgers, this is from Mike Frey. Thanks for participating, Mike. Aaron Rodgers can become the old Aaron again in the Packers. Whoa, this is aggressive. The Packers can win the Super Bowl this year.
Packers can't win a Super
No
Bowl because
Super
I don't
Bowl.
think their defense is good enough, and I think that as much as I love my man Aaron Rodgers, he's got to get his act together. Something's going on. He's not the same. I don't know whether it's the fiance. I don't know whether it's
Don't blame the woman.
Listen. I don't know what. I'm not blaming her, but here's what happens. Y'all are so great and so wonderful in your own right. You can become so much of a pleasant distraction that you find yourself wanting
Okay,
to be
I see
home
where you're
a
going.
hell of a lot more than you want to be at work.
Yeah.
And so as a result of that, it can affect your performance. I mean, I'm just being real. Women can have that kind of profound impact. Having said all of that, Jordy Nelson, I have not been pleased with what I've seen from him. Randall Cobb, viable number 2 option. Eddie Lacy, not healthy. So it's a lot of questions about Green Bay, but Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. I have faith, not for him to go to the Super Bowl, but I do have enough faith that he can turn things around, get his game right, and do more than we've seen him do. And as a result, Green Bay should make it to the playoffs. And who knows what's going to happen then.
Yeah, it's still early enough. So reminder, everybody, we'll be live on Facebook every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday after the show. The First Take, Your Take contest. Check that out. Town Hall Restaurant. Stephen A will be there tomorrow with the fans in the land. Thank you for a little extra bonus time before your radio show, Sirius XM Satellite Radio Channel 80.
Mad Dog Radio Channel 82.
Channel 82. He's on 1 to 3.
For now.
Keep sending the questions. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Watch us tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. First Take. For long, but we've got him for a little bit just for you post show. Stephen A, you gonna answer some fan questions here on Facebook?
I'll think about it.
Please.
Depends on
He
how-
will. Keep
depends on
sending
whether
those.
their
Keep sending
questions
new ones.
are up to par.
Oh, please, Lord. Let's get into it. This one from Chris Green Hat. Why are people jumping the gun on Kaepernick, but those very same people are sitting on the couch or at the bar during the national anthem partying it up? Seems kind of hypocritical to me. Interesting question.
I don't think it's a very interesting question. I mean, why the hell would you be standing up for the national
Tough
anthem
critic.
at a bar? That
Tough
doesn't make
critic.
any sense. If you're at the game and everybody is standing up at attention to honor the flag before the game begins, that's entirely different than being at a restaurant or at a bar or something like that. That might be the most idiotic question I've
You
heard in
haven't seen
Facebook
people
history.
standing up
It's
at the
ridiculous.
bar?
No, never. It's never happened. It's an idiotic question, and to call people hypocrites because of that,
I
that
appreciate
person
it.
needs to look up the definition of hypocrisy.
That's the
You're
shortest
clueless.
answer ever
Go
by
ahead.
Stephen A. Such a little sweetheart right here.
Yes,
This one's from Michael. He really is, though. Michael West Jr. Question for Stephen A. If Rodgers were to win the Super Bowl this year, what would that mean for his legacy? Would that make him a better quarterback than Favre? That's a good question.
I think it would.
Except you don't have to worry about that happening.
I don't think so. I don't think Green Bay, I don't think overall they're good enough to win the Super Bowl, but I happen to believe that from a talent perspective, in terms of the ability to throw the ball in the pocket or scrambling outside of the pocket, whether it's to the right or to the left, that Aaron Rodgers is one of the best we have ever seen. I think his skill set is elite. He's a bad man. I've always stated that, and if he ends up winning another Super Bowl, that would give him one more than Favre. That the difference is that he hasn't fooled and hoodwinked the public the way Favre did throughout his illustrious career. The point is, at the end of Favre's career, the last 5 years, where he couldn't make up his mind whether he wanted to retire or not, he jumped into the arms of one of his offensive linemen after a touchdown, and you'd hear
and
the
no
analyst,
one would say anything.
Oh, look at him jump in the arms of his offensive lineman.
Cam
Oh,
did
look
it.
at him just flick the ball. He's like a little kid out there. It's so touching.
Michael, look what you started. You're getting him on a tangent now on another issue. But it is a real issue. Speaking of a real bad man quarterback, let's talk a little Tom Brady. How do you think he's going to fare? This one's from Austin Thomas when he comes off suspension. Talk about coming off at the right time. He's got Cleveland.
I don't see Tom Brady losing more than 2 games. He might only lose 1. I think he's going to have an attitude. His presence is scaring the living hell out of me because I'm a Steelers fan. Talk about a guy that's going to have a chip on his shoulders. I really think that nobody's brought this up. The #1 goal, I believe it is, for Tom Brady is twofold. I want to win the Super Bowl championship, but if we win the Super Bowl title, who has to present the trophy to us? It has to be Roger Goodell, the commissioner. And I happen to know I happen to have spoken to several NFL sources who told me no one was more relieved last year that the New England Patriots lost in the playoffs than Roger Goodell. He does not want to have to deal with having to hand that Lombardi trophy to the New England Patriots and Tom Brady if indeed they win the Super Bowl. That's big time. So I definitely think that that's going to be a dual motivation on the part of Tom Brady, who really doesn't need that much of a motivation with his greatness. The fact that those two things are going to really just tug away at him.
He might not show up. He might have someone else do. I just need to say one more thing before we move on to the question. This team, talk about a dynasty, and I'm a Giants fan, but how impressive the Patriots. None of us thought. We thought they'd go 2-2 without Brady, maybe 3-1 on a good day. Very good chance they go 4-0. This system, the coach, it's ridiculous how good they are. With the third-string quarterback, they got it done.
It does open up questions as to who deserves more credit, Brady or Belichick.
Yeah. No,
that's fair. It does do that.
That's fair.
It does do that.
We will move on, though. This next one is from Quentin Maxwell. By the end of this NBA season, who's going to be the best player in the league? That's tough.
NBA season?
Yeah.
Well, I personally believe the top 2 players in the world are LeBron and Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Steph Curry, because of his marksmanship, I've never seen a shooter like him in my life. But I don't think any of them are going to be league MVP. I think the league MVP is going to go to Russell Westbrook. I think that he's going to be on a mission. I think he's going to annihilate everyone in his path. I think that Oklahoma City is a good enough team to win 45 to 50 games. They're good enough to get to the second round of the Western Conference playoffs, which is usually when the league MVP award gets presented to the individual. I think he'll still be playing. I just think it's one of those situations where all of those guys, Steph Curry might be a better shooter, shoots 50% from the field, 45% from three-point range, average 30, shot 90% from the free throw line. You can't ignore that. But LeBron, the physical specimen that he is, Kevin Durant, a different kind of way, slim, but got a 7'6" wingspan with a handle and can pull up from 30 himself, on the same team with the best shooting backcourt in NBA history in Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. I think Kevin Durant is going to benefit, and they'll benefit from him as well. But ultimately, Russell Westbrook is going to have the kind of individual performance that's going to warrant league MVP honors, while those guys have better team success. And that's what I see.
He always plays like a man possessed, and then there's levels to this. It's going to be another level this year.
It's another level.
All right, another basketball question for you. This one's from Drew Ryan. With a highly talented roster and now the arrival of Coach Tom Thibodeau, will the Minnesota Timberwolves be a contender in the Western Conference this season?
No, not yet. I think they're a year or 2 away. I think Thibodeau's going to have them moving in the right direction. I think they could potentially vie for a playoff spot. Whether they'll succeed in doing that or not remains to be seen, because I still think they're relatively young. And Zach LaVine hasn't really learned to play the point guard spot. And Ricky Rubio, I don't give a damn how great Tom Thibodeau is. He can't teach Rubio how to play defense, nor can he teach him how to shoot. We've seen the Chicago Bulls. They play defense, but they couldn't shoot, and Thibodeau's not going to help you in that regard. So I think, and Karl Anthony Towns is a stud. I thought that Jahlil Okafor should have been number one, him number two, but I was wrong. Karl Anthony Towns is special. Even though I still like Jahlil Okafor, he's just mired in Philadelphia right now. Who will get better, especially if Joel Embiid is healthy this year? But I think that Minnesota is still a year or two away from getting better, and I think as a result of that, I'm going to say no for now. But they definitely are on the come up. They have the right man for the job. If you had to let go of my man Sam Mitchell, which I didn't think was the right thing to do, but Thibodeau definitely is big time, and I think they're moving in the right direction, just not this year.
One more here, and we're going to talk about your Steelers and Ravens. And you just pointed out to me quietly, Baltimore's 3-0, which is unbelievable. I didn't even realize it. This one's from KYRIE Jones. I know you're a big Steelers fan, so you know my Ravens swept y'all last year, and I'm just wondering how many wins you see the Ravens having this season besides 2 against the black and yellow.
They won't beat the Steelers twice this year. They may win 1, but they will not win 2. They'll split. That's the best case scenario for the Ravens this year. I could see the Ravens, because of their 3-0 start, ending up winning 10 games this year. Whether that's good enough to win the AFC North remains to be seen. I'm still not jumping ship on my Steelers. As disgusted as I am with them right now because of the no-show performance.
Thank God you didn't go to that game. I thought you were going to go because it's in Philly.
Had I went today?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my Lord. I don't even want to think
I already
about
heard
how
enough. We
felt.
wouldn't have heard the end of
I
it.
can tell you that right. I can tell you that right now. But I will tell you that I still think that the Ravens are. I said before the season, the Ravens are a team to be reckoned with because Ozzie
Great
Newsome is one of the best
Yep.
executives. John Harbaugh is one of the best coaches, and I like their experience. They know what it takes when it counts, and that's what you can't underestimate.
And they've
about the
done it
Ravens.
before. All right, we'll let you go, Stephen. I appreciate the time. Your radio show, 1 to 3.
Eastern Standard Time, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio every day.
He's going to go do that now. We have to plug one more thing. Tell him about boxing quick. This is really cool.
I'll be calling, for the first time in my career, I'll be calling the Manny Pacquiao fight against Jesse Vargas on November 5th at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. I'm basically doing what Max does for HBO, I'll be doing for this particular event. I'll be calling that fight because everybody knows outside of basketball, I really, really love my boxing. First fight I ever saw was Ali against Quarry. I thought it was Ali against Cleveland Williams, but I was wrong about that. It was Ali versus Jerry Quarry in 1970, and I've been in love with the sport ever since. So I'm really, really excited about it. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be awesome. You're going to be great. All right, thank you guys. Keep sending the questions and make sure you tune in to First Take every day, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. We'll see you all tomorrow.